Hi, Eric Redbeard here, letting you know that Pro Wrestling Valier, Classic Championship Wrestling, and Seven Mountains Wrestling are uniting. Coming to the York Revolution Stadium, May 20th, 2023. See you
there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one true villain, Marty Scurll. And on May 20th, I make my return to York, Pennsylvania. Yes, as 3 of the longest running promotions in Central PA come together united at the newly renamed Wellspring Park in the historic York, PA. The villain returns. So get your tickets now because you're in for a show of a lifetime. The greatest show on earth to witness the villain live and in living color. Long live the villain.
Welcome everybody to 3 Beards of Wrestling. I'm your host Shane, and next to me, that his name changes like every week, Big Daddy King.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
Weird to say it, bro.
Big Daddy King in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
It's pretty weird for me to say, but it's all good. It's all good. Remember, guys, if you guys got questions, leave them in the comments, and we will get to them, and we'll throw them in during the whole entire podcast. If you have questions for all of us, we'll all answer. Or if you have questions for our guest, we'll throw them in there as we go. First order of business, if you guys want to be a professional wrestler, a manager, referee, or announcer, you have 1 week left of free tryouts at Fort Knox. So if you guys want to live your dream and become a wrestler, hit us up. I mean, you got a week left. So upcoming shows, we got April 1st in Sealings Grove. I know myself, I will be there. I believe Jamal will be there.
No.
All right. Next up,
I won't be there.
Wrestling, April 8th at Mr. Stack's Fitness Center. That is this upcoming 2 weeks, right? Yeah, 2 weeks. In Lewistown, yeah.
At the MR Wrestling.
Next up, I will be at Ultimate Wrestling Empire April 22nd when I take on Shane Malice, Chris Slade, and Bro Keller. Next up is May 20th at Wellspring Park in York, Pennsylvania. If you need tickets, you can visit the York's box office, or you can go on their website and purchase tickets there. They are on sale now. Then, I mean, there's a little better picture. And we'll just announce now our guest next week is Ace Dallas. So you guys definitely don't want to miss that guy. That guy's pretty funny. So Jamal, would you like to introduce our guest?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we have the one, the only, Merrick Miami.
The superstar.
What's up? What's up?
What is up, gents?
Not much, man. Nothing at all. So, Jamal, We're gonna hop right into this. Is he freezing?
Well, let's start off with you. Nah, I'm not froze.
All right, well, let's go.
Oh, I'm gonna say. All right, so listen. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Go from the past to the future and the present. Go ahead.
Past, future, and present. Love it. Yeah. So right now, I am this superstar, Merrick Miami. In the past, I was, oh God, Leo Sweet. It's kind of weird to say it now. I mean, I was Leo Sweet for so long. Uh, with the Candy Kings as a youngin' when we debuted, to the King of Sweet, to the Sweet One, and all kinds of garbage till now. It's definitely been a ridiculous journey. Uh, but yeah, man, it's been crazy. Uh, so in the past, I was this scrawny kid who debuted that is Shane, was scared to death to get chopped, uh, scared to death to do anything in the ring, even though I wanted to live this dream. But as you know now, now I'm a wild man and I'm pretty much down for anything. Um, so yeah, so the superstar or the superstar, America Miami, is all about bringing the heat. My residence in Tiger Beach, the Bahamas. I have pet tiger sharks. I mean, how awesome is that? Nobody else has those but me. Um, my yacht, and all the good stuff. I'm bringing the sunshine, the summertime. To the venues that I do like, I'm bringing the good times. To the venues that I don't like, I'm just bringing the heat. And whether you like me or not, you're gonna respect me, and that's what I'm all about. And as a gorgeous specimen from Florida, uh, I'm not really all about the looks and money. I'm way much more than that. So that's basically right now what Merrick Miami is and what Merrick Miami stands for.
Okay. All right. So let's hop right into like how'd you get your start in professional wrestling? Like, what school did you start training in and stuff?
Sure. So I started with well, obviously I feel like all of us nowadays, now that it's acceptable to actually admit this, we all started in backyard wrestling. There's no doubt about that. Um, so I started in backyard wrestling forever ago. Feels like now, but actually got to meet the Wolfman at SWO, ECW original, like Eastern Championship Wrestling original. So I got to meet him, and actually found out that he was local in York. I'm in Hanover, so only like 45 minutes away. Um, so yeah, so I started training with Wolf in 2015, and it was crazy because I literally graduated high school in 2015 and got to start training pretty much immediately. I think I even started training before I even graduated. So I was uh, just kind of going with the flow, getting the hang of things. Really thought I knew what I was doing in backyard wrestling, and then got trained and was like, okay, well, this is totally different than what I thought I knew. Um, and that probably is for everybody that ever backyard wrestled. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I got started in the summer of 2015, July 25th, to be
I was gonna,
exact.
I was about to say we started the same year. I think I started in January.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we started around the same time.
yeah.
Pretty
And it's
cool.
crazy where, like, this year is going to be 8 years already.
Yeah.
Like, super, super crazy to think about.
Yeah, it definitely feels like longer than that, but I mean, Jamal's been wrestling for what?
17 years.
So, I mean, time definitely flies, especially when you're having fun.
Oh,
So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
um, Jamal, will go up to you.
All right. So, what is a big moment in your career Other than, we're going to save that for last. Other than that,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So see, that's tough. But I'll definitely say, going along with that, what we'll get to is debuting for a major wrestling figure podcast, Figure Wrestling Federation Live. So that was a pretty cool moment. October of last year. The Major Wrestling Figure podcast, obviously Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, Mark Sterling, and Swoggle. Their live shows. That was pretty big for me. Obviously Matt Cardona being my hero, my idol. We'll get into all that. But just him having the confidence and faith in me and believing in me to perform on his show, it was huge. And to be in a locker room with guys like Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, Rich Swann, who I grew up watching, um, Cardona himself, Chelsea Green, Ty Valkyrie, like all these names, like 13-year-old me would have never believed that I was going to be in the locker room with these names.
Yeah.
And on top of that, have them be so kind and personable, because I feel like we always hear these nightmare stories of, oh, I was in the locker room with such and such and they were a total dick. Like, but these guys were so awesome. Like, it's funny, and I'll tell the story very quickly. So I'm in the bathroom, uh, getting ready to wet my hair with Matt Cardona and Heath Slater. And Cardona's talking to me like, hey, man, you look great from the last time I saw you and stuff like that. And how you've been following my meal plan and whatnot. And Heath Slater says something about, how even old are you, kid? And I was like, oh, like 25. I was like, I watched you like when you were a Nexus. And Heath Slater could just not believe that this kid was watching him in Nexus and now he's on the same show as him. And we leave the bathroom after everybody wets their hair, does whatever. And he goes and grabs Justin Gabriel and he goes, yo, he's like, this damn dude was watching us in Nexus. And Justin Gabriel was like, damn, dude, you make me feel so old. But like, just little things like that, like, is so cool to be a part of. And debuting for FWF was awesome. Hopefully I get booked for FWF 5. But yeah, that was definitely a big moment. Obviously not as big as what we're going to lead into, but it was definitely a big and meaningful point in my career for sure.
Definitely. So, I guess to follow what you were saying about earlier. So, I mean, we know what your first gimmick was, but how did it come about? Like, how was the gimmick even brought up?
Yeah, so it's funny actually, because I just saw the picture the other day. So in my senior yearbook, there's a picture of me in our graphics department, and I'm looking back, smiling at the camera, and I have my first ever Leo Sweet logo designed up. And I got Leo from my middle name, which is Leonard, and so that's where Leo came from. And I didn't really know what I wanted to put with Leo, and obviously, Harrison. His real name is William, so he came up with William. And I was like, okay, well, we want to do this Candy Kings deal. So I was like, Leo Sweet. I tried putting like other like candy names, but Leo Sweet just seemed to like roll off the tongue, was super easy. And listen, that, as much as I love that gimmick, I would never trade anything for that. Like, that's how I broke into the business. And I love it. But looking back at it now, some of the cringiest shit. Like, just thinking back to it, I remember we wrestled at on Christmas night. We wrestled there in Lancaster for I don't think it was Google, but it was still LCW. And God rest his soul, and it sucks I can't remember his name. He's like the Abdullah the Butcher kind of gimmick. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you talking about Kawasawa?
Yeah.
Yes. And
God rest his soul.
working that show and getting double choke slammed on to a whole pile of candy. And I remember thinking like this was the worst idea ever because we had lollipop sticks in our like stabbing us in the back and Jolly Ranchers and all kinds of shit. But yeah, so I mean that's really there really wasn't much behind it other than we were just trying to play the gimmicks off of the names that we were gonna pick. And I had pitched back and forth a lot of different ideas, but none of them really stuck other than that one. So that's kind of why we went in that direction.
He kind of had the Sheik mixed with Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah.
But it was Kawasawa. God, fucking Chris was a nice guy though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's a follow up. What moment in your career was the most proudest moment you had?
Pinning Matt Cardona to the mat 1, 2, 3. For sure. I mean that right there, you can't. And I'll say this until the day I die, you can't write it. You literally cannot write it. Like anybody who's watching this, and I know you guys know, like anybody that knows me or has ever heard anything about me knows that I am a Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona guy till the end. From the beginning to the end. And just like, and it's funny because some people still haven't heard me say this yet. And I hope more people that haven't heard me say this yet hear it now. In my head, that match was never supposed to happen. The whole reason that I called him out on social media was because I had just switched from Leo Sweet to Merrick Miami, and I wanted people to talk about Merrick Miami and not Leo Sweet. So in my head, I was like, what do I need to do to get this new gimmick over and get people to not chant Leo Sweet, or Sweet sucks or something? I'm Merrick Miami now. I need them to talk about Merrick Miami. And what better way than to call out on social media the hottest free agent in pro wrestling at that time? And, Dino Santa up there at Triple WA has his ways, man. And somehow, some way, like made that match happen. And I'm forever in debt, even though I don't work there anymore, forever in debt to Paul and Dino for making that match happen. Because honestly, like if it wasn't for them, I may have never wrestled him.
Yeah, that's true.
And the fact that he wanted to put me over, like we went into that in a meeting with me, Dino, Paul, and Matt, and they were just like, okay, well, obviously, like you're up tonight. And Matt was like, oh, well, I was gonna put him over. And I was just like, what? Like on the inside, I'm freaking out, but on the outside, I was like, okay, like, hey, whatever you want to do tonight, man, like I'm cool with. But to have you here, and like I'm very fortunate because I feel like not many people get to have their dream match, or not many people get to hero or their idol. But not only was he my hero, my idol, I got to wrestle him and beat him.
Yeah.
Like I get that what we do is entertainment, but as you guys know, to us it's so much more than that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And to have that moment, like unless I win the WWE championship one day, there will be no moment that will ever compare to that.
Heck, yeah. It's a big moment. I mean, I feel like a lot of people. I mean, like we did me and Jamal did a tag match at PCWA this weekend, and I was so nervous because it was Jamal and Eric Redbeard against me and my dad, and for some reason, I just couldn't remember anything.
Yeah.
I'm like just freaking out in my head.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just like one of those things that, like, on the inside, it's
No, because he talked too much.
what?
This dude talked too much.
Yeah, and like he was talking so quick too. I'm like, what? But I mean, I can't have my dream match because he's dead. But I can find someone else, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it's little things like that too. Like I couldn't even tell you a number of how many times I've watched that match back, and it still doesn't feel like it happened.
Yeah.
And Stu Lepo, you know Stu, he put it best for me. I like literally a year later, I was like, Stu, this doesn't even feel real. Like it's still, and he was like, this is pro wrestling. Moments like that aren't supposed to feel real.
Yeah.
And like the entrance vest that he wore to the ring that night, I have on the wall in the living room. Like, and it still doesn't feel real. It's just so I mean, that definitely was it. And I hope that and that goes along with you, like the match that you said you just had. Like it's little things like that like makes you feel like you're actually doing something. Because like let's face it, we could go out there and have a million matches and still feel like we're not doing anything, even if we knew we had a banger. But it's the little things like that that make you appreciate and make you feel like all your hard work paid off, even if it is that one moment, or or spot on FWF where you're in a 10-man tag team match where nobody knows who the hell you are, but yet you still have that split second. Oh, that's Merrick Miami.
Yeah.
So
So kind of go off of that. I mean, we'll definitely probably talk more about that moment in your career. So I kind of ask everyone this just because like I like to hear people's advice, kind of.
Sure.
So if you had to give any advice for to like somebody wanting to wrestle or somebody very like new in the wrestling business, what would that advice be?
So I'll briefly give you a two-part answer. So the first part, for someone who wants to wrestle, do it, because you're going to get old, you're going to regret it, and you're going to wish you did it, because this is so much damn fun to do what we do. The pain that we go through is worth it to hear the crowd go nuts. Like, it's worth it. Just do it. And you only have one life, so screw it. Do it. Two, for anybody who is new in the business, my best advice, and like I cannot stress this enough because I was like this, do not worry about what Merrick Miami is doing. Don't worry about what Jamal is doing. Don't worry about what Ping is doing. Don't worry about what Rob Noxious is doing. Don't worry about what Wolfman's doing. Don't worry about what Matt Cardona is doing. Worry about you. You are writing your own story. And for the longest time, I was so unhappy because I was like, man, this person got that opportunity. How nice would that be? Man, this person did this. This person did that. Once I programmed my brain, hey, slow down a minute. You're writing your book. You're writing your story. And since I did that, from when I changed to switched to Merrick Miami, I am having the time of my life. And I am so much happier. I am still self-conscious, but less self-conscious, and just narrow that vision to your path and just go with it, and have gratitude too. That's the other thing. Have gratitude instead of saying like, damn, Merrick Miami just got to wrestle Matt Cardona and being upset about that for whatever reason. Say, man, I'm glad that he got his dream match, or Ping just got to wrestle Eric Rowan. Like, have gratitude towards that, and trust me, your life, and that's not just in wrestling, that's just life in general. Like, this person started a business. Have gratitude, and trust me, your life your life, like I cannot stress this enough, and I get this from Gary Vee, if anybody knows who Gary Vee is. Gratitude is like such a big part of life that I was missing for so long. And once I started to show gratitude towards people and everything going on, like life is just so much better. So I definitely say if you want to do this, do it. You're not going to regret it. And two, if you are doing it and you're new, write your own story. Don't worry about everybody else's story and stay on your own path.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, yeah, I never wanted to wrestle. And Jamal can back it up, dude. I never wanted to wrestle. Like I always wanted to play baseball, dude. Baseball was my thing.
Yeah.
And I got that itch one day.
Yeah.
Ever since, and Jamal's actually the person that kind of came up with my gimmick because he always called me Ping, like all the time when I was younger. And then we were at this show in West Virginia. And I think it was like my first battle royal that like I did. So they were like, "What's your wrestling name?" I'm like, I don't know. So I had like a shirt on that said like I'm one big ray of sunshine or some shit. So they called me Sunshine Shane. I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna fucking work. So ever since then, it was Ping, and I probably would never. Well, I won't change anything about anything I ever did in wrestling, just because. I mean, I used to skip school to watch wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely not change anything that I've done in wrestling. So, but not many people know I never wanted to wrestle, just because like basically like my whole family did it. So.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely it's a crazy ride. I can tell you that. Jamal?
To add on to what you said about advice to people in the business. When you said post and say, don't randomly go on someone's post and say something that has nothing to do with you, because that can backfire on you real bad.
Yeah, for sure.
I just like recently had somebody message me about something, and I was like, I don't have to explain myself to anyone.
Right.
And
that kind of happened to me because, well, it didn't backfire because Jamal, you already know, I don't give a fuck. But,
you weren't, in your case, you weren't wrong.
So, there's people that post, we're all friends with people that are wrestlers. And, not everyone trains the same, but there's also ways not to train.
Correct.
And, some people just take advantage of people. And it was one of those posts. And, I commented on it. I was like, yo, like, you're just like taking advantage of this dude. And like 2 people came at me and I'm like, bro, like, I'm just saying, like, that's not the way to train someone to see if they can handle wrestling. Right. That's like me just bringing someone in to train and giving them chair shots for the first 10 hours, and I'm like, it's pointless.
Yeah,
you give me 20 chair shots.
Yeah. You gotta take 20 chair shots to see if you can handle wrestling. Like, it's those things that like shouldn't be in the business, but
right, absolutely,
it is what it is.
It's never nothing personal, but if you're being taught by someone who's trying to damage you to the point where they're not for you, they're not for anyone, they're for themselves. And I can care less who they are, and if they know, you can't beat me. Like we all know, I'm not being cocky or anything. You can't beat me. Like what you did and what you said to him, like you wouldn't say that to my face or his face. So at the end of the day, like the wrestling business is not for that. We're supposed to teach people so that it can continue to go on and on. But people keep forgetting. They're like, oh, we're trying to protect it. No, you're not protecting it. You're making people hate it more.
Right.
There's no protection when you destroy it from the inside.
Right.
You're the enemy to professional wrestling. But at the end of the day, that's none of our business. I can care less about them.
Yeah.
But
The way I said it best.
I do care about
The best way I said it, and this is how I ended the conversation. You can stick to wrestling your 2 shows a year, and I'll stick to my multiple bookings a year.
That's it.
And I left it at that. So, but anyways, we're getting off the topic.
Yeah, let's get back on. Hey, listen, I'm the bike Jim Cornette, so I say what I feel and do what I say.
I'm gonna play these two videos for the 20th, and we'll hop right back to this. All right, guys.
All righty.
All right, commercial.
Hi, Eric Redbeard here, letting you know that Pro Wrestling Valier, Classic Championship Wrestling, and Seven Mountains Wrestling are uniting. Coming to the York Revolution Stadium, May 20th, 2023. See you there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one true villain, Marty Skull. And on May 20th, I make my return to York, Pennsylvania. Yes, as 3 of the longest running promotions in Central PA come together united at the newly renamed Wellspring Park in the historic York, PA. The villain returns. So get your tickets now because you're in for a show of a lifetime. The greatest show on earth to witness the villain live and in living color. Long live the villain.
All right, guys, we are back. Just to go over some things quick before we hop right back in this. Remember, guys, you guys got a week left if you guys want a free tryout at Fort Knox to become a wrestler, manager, referee, or an announcer. This coming weekend, I will be at, I don't know if it's confirmed by Jamal yet or not, but I will be.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I'm going to be at this show.
This weekend in Sealings Grove, PCWA. If you guys need tickets, I don't know if you guys would travel to that or not, but hit us up if you guys need info. Next following weekend will be Seven Mountains Wrestling at Mr. Stack's Fitness Center in Lewistown, PA. Bell time 5. Jamal, is that correct?
Doors open at 4, bell time at 5. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last show at the Seven Mountains building. Well, I say Seven Mountains, but this is the last Seven Mountains show at that facility.
Next up on my schedule will be Ultimate Wrestling Empire at Dauphin County Votech, April 22nd, where I take on Shane Malice, Bro Keller, and Chris Slade. Right.
Yeah, I got triple WA that day.
After that, May 20th at Wellspan Park in York, Pennsylvania, where Eric Redbeard and Marty Scroll will be there. If you guys need tickets, the York box office and the York Revolution Stadium website. You guys can get tickets there, or you guys can hit us up, and we'll get you guys tickets somehow. And remember, guys, next week we are having Dallas on the podcast. Definitely don't want to miss that. He's a good dude.
That's where you all come along.
Let's get back to our guest.
All right.
Crazy? Just this week and next week are two people that we all started at the same time, basically. In this business. Crazy. Jamal, are you starting off? Or you want me to?
I'm going to start off. All right. So, I ask random questions. I mean, that's the reason why my questions are the best. So, 5 things in pro wrestling that you would like to achieve within the next year and a half.
5 things of pro wrestling in the next year and a half. Jeez. I don't really look out that long. No, just kidding. So I really so number one on my list would be to at least be looked at by Impact Wrestling. Put that into the universe, manifest that.
Yeah, Tommy.
I definitely would love to wrestle Matt Cardona again, which I cannot confirm or deny may be in the works. I would like to win another world championship. Doesn't matter where. I would love to. No, see, this is a good question because I'm stumped. I'll say I'd love to have an action figure. In the next year and a half seems pretty unreasonable. I'd love to have a television appearance like dark work for like AEW or WWE or something like that. But yeah, like I said, number one, like I want to go to Impact Wrestling so goddamn bad. That's not even funny. So that's pretty much my number one priority, is to at least be looked at by Impact Wrestling.
All right. I mean, hey, all of us want to make it there. I mean, listen, like I think that's one of the best times I had was doing extra work, and it's just a very fun time.
Yeah, it seems so.
What do you think wrestling, not just indie wrestling, but like just wrestling period, like needs more of?
Kind of going along with what Big Daddy King up here said earlier, we need more of people, not just in pro wrestling, but like even like high school wrestling and amateur wrestling. We need more people that promote a positive culture. Like let's face it, everything in the world, that any kind of sport, any kind of entertainment, there's going to be politics. That's just the way that it goes. But the less politics that we have, and the more politics that we can prevent from happening, the better. So I definitely think that there needs to be more down to earth, selfless individuals that just want to see the company, their company, other companies, the industry grow. I'm a big fan right now. I've been working for Jesus or Ricardo Rodriguez at Three Legacies Wrestling. Again, someone I watched growing up on television. Super awesome to talk to. Super awesome guy.
Yeah.
Had a hell of a journey this far to where he is now. I think I just saw that he completed a year of sobriety or damn near close to it, which is amazing. So shout out to you, Ricardo, for that. But people like him who just want to provide the proper etiquette, the proper training, the proper just this is what wrestling is about. We don't want to learn about the bullshit politics. We want to learn about how to perfect our craft. We want to learn about how to pop the crowd, but stay safe. We want to learn how to read the crowd. We want to learn how to direct the crowd. We want to learn how to work with our peers. We want to learn how to keep our opponents safe while keeping ourselves safe, and vice versa. So I definitely think the business needs more of these people who just want to promote a positive culture for the industry.
Jamal, up to you.
Okay, so what would have been a dream match other than the dream match you had?
So if Zack Ryder never existed and Matt Cardona never existed and that dream match never existed, I almost hate to say it because it's like I feel like it's so cliche, but like John Cena. I mean, I grew up on Thugonomics Cena, and me as like a 5 and 6 year old. Thugonomics Cena was the shit. Like, so I'd have to say John Cena for sure, and Rey Mysterio probably is a close second.
Let's see here. So you don't have to name any names if you don't want to.
Sure.
But what is your favorite road trip memory?
Oh man, there's a few. There's definitely a few. I don't know. I feel like, and you probably feel the same way. I feel like every wrestling road trip stands out in its own way. So it's very hard to pick one. But
I can help you.
one that definitely stands out is a group of us went to Georgia, and we weren't even booked on the show. I think only one of us was booked on the show, but we all just went to support. And the promoter told us, "Hey, come down if we have a spot. We'll throw you on." And none of us got booked, but the booker was like, "Hey, like if you want to go out with your boy as like his manager, sure." So I think it was like 4 or 5 of us went out as a manager for our boy. It was the most ridiculous thing. And to this day, like until I die, it'll be the funniest thing ever. But this old man in the crowd, like, had this damn cane, and he was pissed, and he was like about to swing it. He never swung it. And I wish he would have, because I would have took it, and it would have been great. But on the way back, we had two cars, and we were throwing back and forth oranges on the highway. We were getting like super close together and throwing oranges back and forth from car to car. Just dumb shit. But that's definitely one that like really stands out to me for sure.
So kind of one that stands out that's pretty funny. So me, Jamal, my dad, my uncle, and brother, and I think there's someone else. I forget. Maybe Mike Lash. Maybe we were going down to South Carolina, and we were in separate cars. We were like, I don't know, maybe like 3 hours into this trip. So my brother had this dog that he like loved. And there's another story of this that could be told another time. But we always mess with him, saying that the dog died. So I found a picture on Google that looked just like the dog.
Oh my god!
And I started drawing on it like the dog was dead. And I sent it to Jamal, and they pull up next to us. Jamal's just laughing, showing the picture. While we're just driving.
That shit was funny.
And then we get to South Carolina with Manny Fernandez. And we're at the bar at like 2 a.m.
Jeez.
We was about to fight everyone that night.
Manny ramped his car off of a speed bump.
Oh my god.
It was fun. So I think it was the longest show day ever, because we woke up and we were like 5 minutes from Myrtle Beach, like the actual beach.
Nice.
So we go to the beach and then go to the show, and as soon as we're done wrestling, we drive home. And then like we hit like this major storm, and like you can't see the road, can't see nothing. And then you got Jamal sleeping in the back. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
I had my machine though. So because of that road trip, we got to meet Tommy Rich, Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton, he's cool as hell. Tommy Rich is cool too. But like the funniest thing, all right, so me and Manny Fernandez is walking back to the locker room, and this chick walked by, and I'm not, actually it was Manny. So Manny goes, I'm not even sugarcoating it because like it was funny and it's true. She smiled at us and he goes, that bitch had less teeth than me. And I go, Manny. He goes, you know I don't care. And I go, you right. And I said, but she heard you. He goes, I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that weekend with Manny, man, that was pretty fun.
If you've never had a pro wrestling adventure before, meeting Manny Fernandez is
Oh
like
yeah,
the greatest adventure ever.
yeah.
And then Tommy Rich comes up to us and he goes, hey fella, how you doing? I just want you to know. I I I appreciate you coming down. You know, you're a good guy. And I don't care who you are. I sound just like Tommy Rich.
And kind of just to add this on too, so like wrestling down south is like it's
So
still
much fun.
it's old school.
Oh yeah.
Like like you have like these old school matches, and then like you have me that fucking does all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So like nobody was doing like kip ups or anything, and so I go out there and I'm just doing kip ups, and like the crowd is so weird because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
So it was just like it was a really cool like experience to wrestle down south because like it just shows you how like wrestling really hasn't changed in the South. Like it's still old school. So
They love me, but they was like supposed to boo me, but they
yeah.
still cheered. You
Um,
know.
Jamal, do you have a last question before we give him the floor to kind of promote all of his shows that he's going to be at?
Yeah. So here's my last question, bud. All right.
Sure.
So you've been in professional wrestling 8 years. 8 years is a long time. How many more years are you ready to participate with great matches?
I mean, let's be honest. At some point, all of our bodies are going to be like, "Hey, man, you can't do this anymore." But I'm very healthy. Um, when you guys met me, I was literally like
I'm
9
a kid from out.
and now I believe it or not, I weigh 170, and I am like, but I hope for very many years to come, for sure. I mean, I don't have any plans of slowing down or stopping anytime soon. Um, so I mean, I'm just gonna ride it out until my body says, "Hey, man," like, and even then, you guys know. I mean, we've seen with how many legends now, like how old some of these guys, and they're just like they can't give it up. And I'm sure once we're all old like that, we're gonna feel the same way. Our body's gonna say, "Hey, man, it's time to hang it up," and we're gonna be like, "No, we can still work."
Yeah.
So
Once you stop, that's when all the pain comes. And
yeah,
else.
exactly.
I
So
mean,
hopefully
you could do your Michael Jackson gimmick.
what's that?
You could do your Michael Jackson gimmick when you get old.
Oh my god.
I do have to say I would like to wrestle you one more time because or more than that, but I think we only got to wrestle one time, and that was at Triple WA.
Yeah. Yep.
I definitely want to run that back again.
Oh, for sure.
But right now you got the next couple minutes to kind of just tell people where you're going to be at.
All right, man. Yeah. So I wish I had one with me. I don't have one with me. So screwing up the merch plug. But regardless, yeah, so you can catch me. My next upcoming events are gonna be a couple weeks from now. SWO in Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania on April 15th. And then again in Lancaster for SWO's benefit show at Reynolds Middle School in Lancaster, the Reynolds Rumble. So those are my two upcoming dates. Looking to fill dates, book merrickmiami@gmail.com. You can follow me across all social media at Merrick Miami, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. mainly active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, YouTube. I get in little spells where I'm like, I'm going real hard with YouTube, and then I'm just like, eh. But regardless, all across social media, Merrick Miami. I have some exclusive online merch at prowrestlingtees.com/diamond merch. Working on getting that fixed to Miami merch. I also recently, I wish I had one laying right beside me, but I don't because I'm horrible and came unprepared. Have Merrick Miami buddies. So, you know, the little Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior buddies and stuff. Now you can have me. Like I said on my Instagram post, if you didn't see it, if you're a super hot babe and you've always wanted to sleep with me, well, now you can. Get your nice little American Miami buddies now. I do have some Whatnot exclusive 4x6 prints exclusive to my Whatnot stream. So you can find me there at whatnot.com/AmericMiami. Also have some actually my first series of trading cards is sold out, but series 2 is coming very soon. And series 2 is going to be interesting because I'm going to have a pretty cool chase variant card in these. It's going to be pretty cool. I think once people get one, they're going to be super. Look at that. The love of my life coming in clutch. Here I am. Merrick Miami buddies. Get them now. If you're a hot babe and you've always wanted me, now you can have me. But yeah, so I'm pretty much right now I'm getting ready, and what tomorrow? Well, tomorrow's my birthday, so happy early birthday to me. And then Thursday I'm heading to Los Angeles for WrestleMania weekend. So I'm kind of planning to do some kind of like merch thing in LA. So stay tuned for that. Again, if you want to stay tuned for that, at Merrick Miami across all social media platforms. And yeah, that was a lot to come out, but I didn't want to forget anything, so I said it all at one time.
It's all good.
So yeah,
that's cool.
Right.
Hold your buddy up.
There he is.
You and your buddy look like Johnny Swinger.
All right, guys. Remember, you guys got a week left to have a free tryout to be a pro wrestler, manager, referee, or announcer. Remember, this weekend, if you want to see me, Rob Doctors, or Malcolm King in action, we will be in Sealands Grove at PCWA. Following that, the following week, if you guys want to see us in action again, April 8th, Mr. Stacks Fitness Center, Lewistown, PA. We will be there. And if you want to see me in action, April 22nd at Dauphin County Votech, my old high school, where I take on Shane Malice, Chris Slade, and Bro Keller in a fatal four-way. Come check that out. And then the biggest show of the year, May 20th at Wellspan Park in York, Pennsylvania. If you need tickets, York Revolution box office or York Revolution website, you guys can get tickets there, or hit us up and we'll get you guys tickets. And remember, guys, tune in next week because our guest is East Dallas.
Let's go.
This should be pretty funny. It's a pretty funny episode. So yeah.
We've been tagging a lot too. Ace and I have been tagging a lot.
Really?
Legacies. Yeah, it's a blast.
Nice.
It's a blast.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me for sure.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it really was.
Jamal, you got anything else before we are off?
I am the No DQ champion, and I'm having an open scramble match. So if you want some, come get some.
Do you want to announce anything about next week, about what you're doing?
Leo.
About you, Jamal, about your school?
Yeah, I was gonna say you, dog.
Oh, I didn't know that you said me. I thought you said Leo.
Or is that under
wraps?
Is that under wraps still? Is that under wraps?
There's a school going to be opening up next week. And it's going to be in Lewistown. Anybody who wants to be a professional wrestler, come to this guy. And I wish I had my tag partner next to me who's going to be helping me with training. Come to Lewistown, PA, to the Fort Knox's 2. Actually, don't really have a. Don't worry about the name. It's going to be a wrestling school.
right,
it's going to be Mountains presents Fort Knox's. Actually, that's better. 7 Mountains presents Fort Knox's 2.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Okay, Jesus love you all.
Peace out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one true villain, Marty Scurll. And on May 20th, I make my return to York, Pennsylvania. Yes, as 3 of the longest running promotions in Central PA come together united at the newly renamed Wellspring Park in the historic York, PA. The villain returns. So get your tickets now because you're in for a show of a lifetime. The greatest show on earth to witness the villain live and in living color. Long live the villain.
Hi, Eric Redbeard here, letting you know that Pro Wrestling Valier, Classic Championship Wrestling, and Seven Mountains Wrestling are uniting. Coming to the York Revolution Stadium, May 20th, 2023. See